Hello and welcome to Wellness Journey Monday. I'm your host, Dr. Richard Harris, and today we're going to be talking about reading. So it's kind of funny. I heard that 50% of adults haven't read another book past high school. I couldn't verify if that stat was true or not, but what I could verify was that one survey said that 42% of college graduates have not read a book since college. And then another poll in 2019 showed that 24% of adults hadn't read a single book in the last year. And this is just mind-boggling to me because my journey has always been about amassing knowledge where I felt I had a deficit. And I've done this in medicine, I've done this in pharmacy, I've done this in business. I'm the kind of person that I need to structure learn before I unstructure learn. And that's why I got the MBA when a lot of people said, why are you doing that? You don't need to get this. You can just learn this all on your own. And I was like, yes, I can, but I know myself and I know my learning style. You know, you can't go through 2 doctorates before that and not know your learning style. So I know how I learn most efficiently, and that's structured learn than unstructured learn. But even getting out of my MBA, I had taken my past experience with medical school and pharmacy school and realized I had learned more in that first year outside of school than I ever learned in school. And so I did the same thing with business books. And I learned a ton reading different business books and talking to other entrepreneurs about business. But I couldn't imagine not reading now. And it's funny, I used to be one of those people. I used to say, no, I don't need to read. You know, I would read clinical trials, but I wouldn't read other books. And then I started to realize that I needed to optimize my time. And this was happening on my drive home. I used to work in Katy, for those not in Houston. That's about, with traffic from downtown Houston, about an hour to an hour and a half each way. And so I said I need to be more efficient with my time. Instead of sitting in this car listening to music the entire time, why don't I listen to books? And I asked a friend who I know read, I was like, hey, what are some good books that you like? And one of those books he told me was Black Swan by Taleb. And that book is incredible. It changed the way I think. It opened my mind. And then I started reading more about behavioral economics, sociology, psychology, and business at that time. And it's really helped out as far as my mindset, having that growth mindset, how I approach challenges and things that have come in my life. And on the medical front, you know, everything that I do now, the holistic medicine, I didn't learn that in school at all. I didn't learn anything about nutrition and meditation and fasting and nutraceuticals and autophagy. You know, all the things that you're hearing in my podcast are things that I learned about after school reading. And that was reading books and reading primary literature. You know, last time I checked, I had over 400 clinical studies in my database. And over the last week or so, I'm reading studies at the clip of 2 studies a day. I'm churning through studies because there's some pretty interesting research going on right now with COVID and nutraceuticals and how lifestyle medicine and some of the things that we do in holistic medicine interact with COVID. But there's also really interesting research going on in the microbiome, really interesting research going on in ketosis, really interesting research going on with autophagy. And so these are areas that I'm always looking out for new studies so I can increase my knowledge and better help the people that come to me one-on-one. It's also been able to help me with my wellness classes. You know, I just added 2 new courses on cooking and how to cook with health in mind, and another one on avoiding toxins because of knowledge that I had gained from taking time out of my schedule to further my knowledge. And the bookshelf behind me is not just a placeholder. You know, I've read most of the books on that place in paper, and I don't really usually like reading paper. The other ones I actually had audiobooks as well. So there's no excuse in this day and age to not further your mind. You are your best asset. Expand your mind, expand your horizons. Read. The benefits are endless. I am so much better as a man, as a Christian, as a physician, as a fiance, as a son, as a brother, because of all the information I've gained in the last couple of years. I've learned more since I decided to start enriching my own knowledge a couple years ago. I've learned more in those couple of years than I have in my entire life. And I'm excited for the journey. I'm excited for the future. And if you've got any good book recommendations, let me know. I'm always looking for a good book. I prefer, like I said, behavioral economics, sociology, psychology, and some good business books. So drop your recommendations in the comments. Let me know what you're reading. Always looking to add to the list. Currently, I'm finishing up Malcolm Gladwell's books. So I'm on Tipping Point right now. I'm almost done with that. And then I've got 2 more of his books. And then I'm going to read a book on growth mindset for a presentation I'm doing for a pharmacy organization in November. All right, well, this has been Wellness Journey Monday. Get reading, enrich your knowledge. Thank you for listening. Again, I'm your host, Dr. Richard Harris, and we'll see you again next Monday.